Hello everyone, this is Princess here, and in today's video we're going to talk about the next Heretics event that's coming up, which is going to feature a brand new burst and a returning burst. So the new burst, as you can see, is going to feature Ceodore, and then Tidus's burst is returning. Another thing I want to mention is that on Tidus's banner you can see Ignis over there, but he already has his level 90 awakening. It was when Layla came out, so I don't know specifically who's going to take his place on the banner, but yeah, anyway, along with Tidus and Ceodore's burst weapons, we are also featuring Cyan's LD. So let's get started. So because Ceodore's LD, his call, and his high armor is already in the game, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I am just going to go straight in with his burst weapon. So his burst weapon is called the Ragnarok. The first time I saw this thing, I thought it was a Lego sword, and this grants him the skill Cerulean Dive. It is a 15-hit AoE Holy Brave split HP attack with a 120% Brave potency per hit. And for the burst effect itself, so as long as his burst effect is up, his overhead buff awakening will not go down. It raises the party's stolen max brave overflow and their brave damage, and for party members whose HP is greater than or equal to 50%, it raises brave damage, stolen max brave overflow, HP damage, and raises brave cap. So then looking at his burst plus, so when you use Cerulean Dive, it will be a 10-hit AoE Holy Brave HP attack dealt twice. It also raises Brave based on HP damage dealt after the first attack, and then at 2 out of 3 it will add an HP damage up and a 30% Brave cap up. So now looking at Tidus's burst plus, so when you use Blitz Ace, it will have a 450% Brave potency per hit, and it has splash damage. And then at 2 out of 3, it will raise the party's brave damage, and it raises their brave damage cap. Alright, so now we are going to take a look at Cyan's LD. So this is the Murakumo, and this grants Bushido Tempest. This is active at 7 stacks. It raises brave based on attack, and then does a 1-hit brave HP attack dealt 8 times. It ignores defense and any buff effects, and it's a guaranteed hit. It also has a 60% brave potency per hit, a 150% stolen brave overflow. It doesn't use brave until the last attack, and then uses it uses 6 stacks of Bushido, and it grants Bushido when the quest starts. So think of it like Pain's overhead buff when you have her LD equipped. So for the Bushido buff itself, it will dispel when concentrate isn't active. It grants Bushido Tempest at 7 stacks, and if the target has no buffs, it will ignore brave damage resist. It raises stolen brave overflow, and it raises brave and HP damage. Stacks will go up by 1 on Cyan's turn, and the stacks will remain even after expiration, and then for the extensions itself, it will add a stolen brave overflow up. Then for the LD passives, 1 out of 3 raises brave damage, 2 out of 3 adds a 180% stolen brave overflow up, and then 3 out of 3 will add another use, and it also raises attack with each limit break. So as for the LD call itself, so it raises brave gain based on attack, it has 180% stolen brave overflow, and it deals splash damage after each attack. Alright, so now for the Lufenia Plus. So you are going to be fighting the Sahagan Shamans. These are pretty, we've fought these guys before, so you can kind of get an idea on what they do. They can buff up their stats by a lot, but their buffs are non-frame, so you can easily dispel them. The Shamans, and specifically for this one, they are weak to Holy, but they do resist magic. And then as for the Orb condition, so the Orb will appear when the battle starts. It goes down by 2 when the player acts, and it goes up by 6 when you're using holy attacks. And then just a little, for some of the gimmicks, so below 80, 50, and 30%, they will cleanse off 1 debuff, and then do a group HP attack that can also delay by 1 turn. And the delay is AoE. They will also grant themselves a frame buff that reduces HP damage, and they can also inflict a frame debuff on the party that can also reduce the HP damage that they take. They can also frame their turns, but this goes away when they do their group HP attacks. So the best advice I can give you is make sure to have a Dispeller with you, like Vanille or Arciella, or even Cloud, I guess, since he dispels. And try to get rid of the debuff on you as soon as you get it, because it can really be annoying to deal little damage, or even dealing 0 damage, which can actually happen. So with that being said, I'm going to head over to JP now so I can showcase Ceodore's burst and Cyan's LD. So I will be right back. Alright, so we're back in Opera Omnia now. So I'm just going to have quizzes here just to delay the bosses. Alright, so with Cyan here, as you can see, I cannot use his LD yet. But when I use one of his skills, he has the Bushido buff up, and it might be a little hard to see, but it goes up to 7, and number 1 is in yellow right now. When I get it up to 7, then it will become Bushido Tempest. So this is probably going to take a while, so I'll just cut back to when it gets ready. So in the meantime, I am going to show off Ceodore's burst. And what's cool with Ceodore is that he is one of those characters whose Brave and HP attack changes when you use his LD. So you can just go in and just like spam his HP plus or Brave plus. And if you wanted to like have him deal even more damage, you can bring like an off-turn damage dealer like Kane or Core or Young. I'm just going to keep doing this. Alright, so now here's Cerulean Dive. You can see Kane joins him, which is pretty cool. Kind of weird seeing him holding a sword instead of his lance, but yeah. Okay, just like that. Okay, so with Cyan, actually another thing I can do here is I can just spam his C65. You can see it's going up by 3, then by 4, and then by 5. Alright, so I'm just going to go back here for a second. So now that Ceodore has a turn, so I'm going to use his S1 here. And as you can see, his Awakening buff did not go down, even though his burst effect did. And then I think, okay, just one more, and then he'll be ready to go. Alright, okay, no, it's not Cyan yet. Alright, so now he is ready. So here's Bushido. This also works really well as a call if you just want to, like, deal more damage on enemies, kind of like how Tifa or Ida's LD call works. So with that being said, so that covers up everything for Ceodore, Tidus, and for Cyan. Thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know if you will be pulling for Ceodore or for Cyan, and I will see you all next time.